Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome to another Marvel Champions Hero Pack. This is for Wolverine. So we're getting farther into the X-Men. We started with the big campaign, Mutant Genesis, which gave us Shadowcat and Colossus, of course. Because I like to team everyone up now. Then we got the first two packs, which were Phoenix and Cyclops. So now we're getting the next pair, which will be Wolverine and Storm will be the other one, which she'll be a separate video. So we're getting definitely deep into this. I don't know how many more. They have the next two characters planned after that. And I don't know how far they're going to keep going, if they'll switch over to another team. Wouldn't honestly surprise me if it's about as many sets as they've done for, they did for the Spider-Verse and for Guardians. So I wonder if then they'll jump into another group, which might be X-Men. Or not X-Men, forgot X-Men, might be Fantastic Four. So of course, we get our poster. We got our brief little rules on the back, which I don't go too deep into. But we got new keywords. So lots of these are ones that we've seen multiples of times, but that was added in case you only bought the base game. So you have permanent. A card with permanent cannot be defeated, leave play, or have any part of the text box blanketed. This rule does not apply to cards with the same set as the card with the permanent hero scenario or modular. Alright, and then we have keyword piercing. This attack with piercing deals damage. Then you tough status cards for the target of the attack before dealing damage. The discard tough status cards. We have steady. Keyword with steady can have one additional stun status card and one additional confused. Is not stunned or confused unless they have two of them. And after activation is replaced by the status effect, remove all of them. And then we have the team up cards, which we'll get into when we get there. And then Wolverine, of course, is going to be aggression, because of course he has to be. But that's just also fun about this, is with Marvel Champions, you can make Wolverine whatever you like to make him. So if you want him to be an aggression character, definitely go for it. It probably fits his theme the best. But you could make him a Justice or a Defender. And Wolverine has played all the roles, so it's definitely doable. Alright, so here we have his hero side. 2 thwart, 2 attack, 2 defense. He's an X-Men, of course, with a healing factor response. After the player begins the phase, heal 2 damage. Definitely. A built-in healing factor was the perfect way to do this. I'm the best there is at what I do, and what I do isn't nice, bub. Hand size 5, and hit points 10. So definitely Wolverine is going to be in there. On the Wolverine side, probably more than the Logan side. In there, taking the damage, because he can keep healing every time. But let's see what Logan does for us. Gives us an extra hand size of 6. He has 6 recovery, which I believe is the highest in the game. Just definitely works in that. So if for some reason his regular healing factor on this side, which heals him 2 points every turn, isn't doing enough for you. You flip him over, he'll recover almost all his hit points in 2 turns. Well, he should recover all his hit points in 2 turns. Then we have Mutant and Snink. Set up, search your deck and discard pile for Wolverine's claws and upgrade and put them into play. So this is the only thing that's different, this is one that's very different about Wolverine and Logan versus lots of other characters, is because he has that built-in healing factor, which is a passive ability, and he has a setup ability. He has no other effects on any of his cards. Lots of other characters have stuff that lets you go search for other cards or refine your cards, like Captain America can refine his shield, or Thor can refine Mjolnir. Or they'll have stuff that lets you actively switch one of your stances or gain a counter or do something. Wolverine's is basically just if he's on Logan, he's healing for his recovery. And then if he's on Wolverine, he's just healing health. So it's all he's worried about. Is then you can basically get right in and attack. He's probably going to be one of the most aggressive characters. So what are adamantium claws? They're a permanent upgrade. So this when he finds them, they can't be removed. So it says weapon and permanent. Hero action. Exhaust Wolverine's claws to choose an attack event in your hand and take damage equal to its printed cost. Play that event. Ignoring its resource cost, that attack gains piercing. So what's this mean for Wolverine? You choose an attack card in your hand. So let me just grab one quick. So, for example, we have a Berserker Barrage, which has a cost of 2. So you can exhaust these claws, basically use this as a payment, and use Wolverine's health to pay for that. So you can pay 2 to play that event, ignoring any other costs it would have. Or at least its resource cost. So yeah, he has a lot of 3s. Bunch of 3s in there. Plus, you can definitely, if you add in some of the aggression cards, I'm sure we have some higher ones. So basically, he's gonna pay his health to pay for his cards. But then he has so much great recovery between his actual alter ego recovery action and his natural 2 healing. So if he played Berserker Barrage, end of his turn, he's gonna heal that 2 anyhow. And then he can also spend any other resources he has to play his other attacks. Plus, it gains piercing, so you're going to eat through all of them defenses very quickly. So this is definitely cool. And since this is always out, you can use it whenever you need to. Just try not to kill Wolverine, Definitely cool there. Alright, then let's look at his signature ally. Of course, it has to almost be Jubilation Lee, or Jubilee. Now, that's the thing, with Wolverine, there could be so many signature allies. It has, because he's teamed up with so many, especially young female characters that he's trained. Jubilee, Hisako, or Armor, Karma, Wolfsbane to an extent. He's worked with Psylocke a lot closely. Storm, Jean Grey. There's times when he's kind of, helped out Rogue a bit. That's more Ultimate X-Men and some of that. But, yeah, he could be linked to so many different people that way. Plus, other allies, like he was always close to, like, Cyclops, or not Colossus. Could have Cyclops, that's more of a rival. But, yeah, there's so many different things he could definitely do in there. But, yeah, Jubilee, I almost say is one of the iconic ones. 2-cost ally, 1 fort, 1 attack, 2 health, response. After Jubilee enters play, choose an enemy. Until the end of the phase, while Wolverine or Jubilee is making a basic attack against an enemy, they get 2 attack, plus 2 for that attack. So that's even sweeter. So, when she pops into play, have her jump in. She can either do 3 attack, or Wolverine gets plus 2 to whatever he gets. Definitely sweet. As long as it's a basic attack. Which Amy's basic attack was 2 anyhow. So it gives him 4. But that's not bad to have either. Just extra 4 no matter what. Yeah, definitely cool. Alright. Then we got 1 copy of Adamantium Skeleton Upgrade. Cost 2. You get plus 4 hit points. Wolverine gets plus 1 attack, and his basic attacks gain piercing. Wolverine's bones are laced with adamantium, making them unbreakable. So 4 extra hit points, bringing him up to 14 hit points. Where his whole point is to take damage. Utilize it as a resource, so giving him extra hit points helps. Additional attack, plus gains piercing, plus his claws gain him piercing, so all of his attacks are basically either using his claws or his basics to break through that, so he's going to be in there taking up them defenses. Then we have another upgrade for 2-cost Berserker Frenzy. Just condition. Hero response. After Wolverine takes any amount of damage from an enemy attack, draw 1 card. Force response. After you flip to your alter ego form, discard this card. So, this is kind of good, because, again, you want Wolverine out there as Wolverine, as the hero side. He can go ahead and also block and take some damage. Or draw people towards him, do stuff like that. And then if he take retaliation damage if you have to, knowing that he's going to heal quicker, let him go ahead and take that 1 retaliation damage that other characters might have to avoid, because he'll heal right from it, plus he gets to draw a card. You just have to lose it every time you flip back over to Alter Ego. Another upgrade, I got better. 4-cost superpower. Interrupt. When you would be defeated by your enemy, Instead, set your hit points out to 5, ready your identity, and discard this card. Now, this is crazy, right? It stays out. If you would be defeated by an enemy attack, you just start back at 5, ready your character, get ready to fight again, and you just have to discard this. So if they hit you again, like, too quickly, you won't have this card back because you only have one, but you could potentially get this back and use it multiple times in a game. But that's sweet, because I think there's one other character that has the ability, I can't remember who it is, it had something that was similar to this, like, if they died, you could play that card, but then you had to remove that card from the game. They had like a one-time resurrection. This is essentially an infinite resurrection as long as you can keep drawing it. So definitely cool there. And then we have a support. This is one thing I thought was really cool with the X-Men characters. I'm pretty sure every single one of them has had a personal location. Whether it's like their room or like some spot they go to at the X-Mansion. Wolverine gets his own cabin, of course, Logan's cabin. But that's a really neat little aspect to the X-Men, is they're giving them all their own, like, hey, this is where this person hangs out. This should be a cool idea I would love to almost see for other characters if they ever did like upgrade packs. Like, hey, here's additional cards for the character you can swap in, like, if you gave every character, like, I don't know, 5 extra cards or 2 extra cards that you could swap in and out with something else. Just give every other character, like, a little, their own personal location. That'd be kind of neat. But we have Logan's Cabin for 1 cost. Alter Ego action, exhaust Logan's Cabin, shuffle 1 Wolverine card from your discard pile into your deck. A loner by nature, Logan retreats to his cabin when he needs some away time. So that's sweet. You're dying, you died, you know, play I Got Better, or have it out, you get rid of it, then you can flip over to your other side to recover from 5, back up, because you start at 5, you can recover up to your 6 extra, which puts you at 11, which is over your starting health, and then while you're on there, you could go ahead and exhaust this to shuffle that back into your deck so you have a chance to draw it quicker. So it's kind of cool, like a good combo in himself. You can basically heal up in 1 turn, and then get ready to play that and have it ready to go again in case you die. Alright, but just as a note here, just make sure it says an enemy attack. So you can't use Wolverine's claws to sacrifice himself and then use that. We have 2 copies of Berserker Barrage. 2 cost event attack. Hero action attack, deal 4 damage to an enemy. If this attack defeats an enemy, you may take 2 damage to repeat this ability. You ain't seen a frenzy until you see me get mad. So, now again, using Wolverine's claws here, which is really cool, you can pay 2 health, basically, exhaust this, pay 2 health to use this. He's going to deal 4 damage, plus he will gain piercing through that, so if anyone has a tough card, you can just ignore it and go right to damage. And if you happen to defeat the enemy, so if you're fighting little minions, you can pay an extra 2 to repeat this ability again. And essentially, I'm assuming you could just keep redoing it, because as long as you can pay for 2 health, you just want to, again, make sure you don't drop too low. 2 copies of Slicing Dice for 3. Attack. Hero action, make the following 2 attacks in order. Deal 3 damage to an enemy, and deal 3 damage to an enemy. So yeah, it's essentially 6 damage, but since you did do it twice, you can take out either 1 big guy by hitting him for 6 damage, or you can take out 2 small guys, or 1 small guy and a big guy. And again, you can play them with those claws. 2 copies of Lunging Strike for 3 cost. Attack, hero action, deal 8 damage to an enemy. If you exhausted Wolverine's claws to play this card, this attack gains overkill. So it's definitely fun there too. So like the other ones were letting you either attack again, or attack multiple targets. This one's basically gonna be like, throw Wolverine at someone. And if that 8 damage is more than enough to kill him, you can at least spread it off to the boss. So you can throw this at like a 3 health minion, and then do the other 5 damage to the villain. So yeah, Wolverine's all about pure damage. You didn't forget about little old me, did you? We have 2 copies of Track by Scent. So you disperse a non-attack. 2 cost, superpower and thwart. Hero action thwart. Remove 3 threat from a scheme. If this removes the last threat from that scheme, draw 2 cards. Once I pick up their scent, I can follow them anywhere. So it's awesome that he has ability like this too. So even though he's all about attacking, they're giving you another little option of something different to do. Maybe there's nothing you really need to attack. Maybe there's no minions out and it's just the boss. Yeah, you could attack the villain, but maybe you need to save them in case, you know, like another wave of villains is coming or minions are coming out. And you want, or you just really, you know, and say, hey, Wolverine, we need you to like help take care of this threat. That's more critical than trying to take something else out. So that's definitely cool. And then 2 copies of regenerative healing, because Wolverine needs more healing powers. Choose 1. Heal 4 damage from your identity, or discard each stun and confuse status from your identity. Yeah, you don't want Wolverine stunned or confused, because that shuts him down for a turn. But you might need to heal as well. Again, like, use your claws, pay for one of the 3 cost abilities, turn around, play this for 1 to heal him right away, and then now you're golden. That's definitely cool. He just, only thing he doesn't have in here is some way to like unexhaust his claws so he could use it multiple times. Yeah, so that's kind of interesting. But there's Wolverine. Alright, so let's look at his aggression cards. So these can, of course, be added to any character's deck. But we're going to get Psylocke, which we definitely mentioned. He worked with her for a while. So we got Betsy Braddock. Betsy Braddock. 4 cost, 2 thwart, 1 attack. It says Psionic and X-Men. Psylocke enters play 2 psionic counters on her. Interrupt when Psylocke attacks an enemy. Remove 1 psionic counter from her. Confuse that enemy and deal 1 damage to it. So that's cool. Although she's already going to do 1 damage for the attack, she gets to do another damage and confuse them. But she can only do it twice. That's still not bad. You know. Again, if you have one of these cards that allows you to bounce your allies out and bring them back to your hand and replay them, you can keep using that, but confusing enemies is never a bad thing. Then we have Sunfire, Shiro Yoshida. So this is, I think we almost got I think we have the original X-Men so far as every card. Or if we don't, we will by the time we get through Storm. But I think the only one we're going to be missing then of the giant size X-Men, which is Wolverine's first team, is going to be Thunderbird. I don't know if we get a Thunderbird card yet. But here we got Sunfire, of course. 2 cost, 1 thwart, 2 attack. X-Men response. After you play Sunfire from your hand, spend an energy resource. Choose the attachment with the text hero action or hero response and discard it. After you play Sunfire from your hand, choosing. Okay, so this is gonna be for like a villain effect. So if a villain has a card that attaches to them, I'm trying to see if I have one. So like an example here is going to be this card. This is Lady Death Strike's card you get in this set. So it's a hero action. So instead of having to pay those resources, Sunfire can just fly in here and remove them. So a lot of the encounter villains have those abilities where they equip something to them, like some upgrade they get, and you have to pay a high cost to get rid of it. Just send Sunfire in for 2, send 1 resource. It's still paying 3 to do it, but you can pay 1 energy and then 2 of whatever else you need. And you can just get rid of that card. So it's kind of a fun idea. Alright, then he has 3 copies of Battle Fury. 1 cost upgrade condition. Play under any player's control, max 1 per player. Hero response. After your hero attacks and defeats a minion, deal 1 damage to your hero and discard Battle Fury to ready your hero. So this could be great for a lot of characters. Wolverine, not necessarily as bad since you can heal 2 at the beginning of your next turn anyhow, so you'll, negate that damage anyway. But yeah, just adding this into some of the other heroes that use aggression, be able to ready your hero and use them abilities a lot quicker. We have 3 copies of Warrior Skill, a 2-cost upgrade. Use 3 warrior counters, max 1 per player. Interrupt. When your hero attacks, move 1 warrior counter from here. That attack deals 1 additional damage. This kind of falls in line with Psylocke's characters, so it's cool that she shows up on there. So the only, not downside, but odd thing about it is now we have 2 cards in his deck that he can only have 1 per player attached. So it's 6 cards, we can only have 2 of them out. So if you draw the other 4, you're definitely using to pay for other stuff, but there's just something to keep in mind, as these might be cards you might want to switch out. But yeah, whenever you attack, you can do 1 extra additional damage. It's not a bad thing. It's 3 free damage whenever you might need it. 3 copies of Out of My Way with good old Banshee here. 2-cost event, attack. Deal 3 damage to an enemy, 5 instead if that has guard or patrol keyword. So again, this could be great for Wolverine. Pay 2 health, deal 3 damage or potentially 5. Plus you get to ignore your piercing with lots of his stuff, so cool. We have 3 copies of Precision Strike, a 1-cost event. Which is an attack. Hero action, deal 2 damage to an enemy. If this attack defeats that enemy, heal 2 damage from your hero. So for Wolverine, more or less almost a free card, right? You pay 1 health to play this with your claws, deal 2 damage, and if you defeated the guy, you're going to heal 2. So you've already healed 1 of your 2, so you're back up a point. Yeah. So that's not bad at all. That could definitely be great in a lot of characters' decks. It's a really good card. And then we have 3 copies of Mean Swing. Wolverine Slashing Exodus there. 0-cost event and skill. Hero Interrupt. When your hero makes a basic attack, exhaust a weapon upgrade on your hero. Your hero gets +3 attack. +3 attack for this attack. So this one's kind of interesting because there's not a lot of characters that all have weapons. But again, Black Panther, Thor, Iron Man, Captain America. But Wolverine's claws, which he starts with, are considered weapons. So it said, yeah, if you don't want to take the health damage, you're doing a basic attack anyhow. Maybe Jubilee comes into play. She gets you +2 attacks. So you're attacking with Wolverine's 2 attack. Plus that's 4, you could exhaust your claws instead of playing another card to get 3 for that. So now you're doing 4, 5, 6, 7 damage. So that's not bad at all. Definitely cool there. Then we have 2 copies of Aggressive Energy. These are the new resource cards. Which was Cyclops and Phoenix. You've seen 2 of the other ones. So now we're getting the 4th one, which is max 2 per deck. Hero Interrupt. When you spend this card to play an attack, that event deals 1 additional damage. So we had the very original characters that had the resource cards, which were basically if you play them on that specific color, like you play the aggression on the aggression or justice on justice, they do double. These ones are kind of neat because they still only do 1 wild, but you can play them on anything, but they're more specific towards the type of card. So this way, if you use these on attacks or the defense on the defense or so on and so forth, you gain a bonus for playing them with those. So it's kind of a fun extra way of having just a resource card that will help you play your attacks. If you're doing a lot of attack, which definitely Wolverine is. Alright, those are our aggression cards. Then, of course, we're going to get some basics. We're going to start with our basic, which is Colossus, who we've seen before if you've watched the other unboxings, because she was with Colossus, or with Shadowcat. Because Shadowcat's signature ally was Lockheed, so she had Colossus as a basic card. But there is nothing wrong with getting an extra, another one. I mean, you already have that, but hey, why not have more than one? So 4 cost ally for Colossus, Piotr Rasputin. 1 thwart, 3 attack. You're doing a ton of attacks, so here's a good attacker. Reduce the cost to play Colossus by 1 if your identity has a mutant or X-Men trait and he has toughness. So there's only actually 3 to play if you're playing with Wolverine. Let's jump to that. So we have another location. Weapon X, 1 cost support. Play only if your identity has the mutant trait. Alter Ego action. Exhaust Weapon X and take 1 damage. Discard cards from your deck until you discard a card as an identity-specific card. Add that to your hand. Yeah, very, very weird, risky card. You have to take 1 damage, which, again, with Wolverine, he can heal from it. But you're looking for that identity-specific cards. You're going to discard all your aggression or basic cards until you get them. And you might not get the one you necessarily want, but the way these decks are built, any card for your character is generally better than a basic card, because it fuels into their abilities and they tie together. So there's not really going to go wrong. Just you put this in any other character's deck, it's whether they can always afford to always take that 1 extra damage, but 1 isn't too bad, especially if you need to draw cards. Too bad, as far as I know, there's a way to give people team abilities like X-Men or Avengers or Guardians, but I don't think there's any way to give someone the mutant keyword. So it's only going to be an X-Men specific. And to go with our Colossus, we have Fastball Specialist. This is our team up. So we did kind of mention that before. Team up cards are fun. They started them back in the Guardians set. They really need to release a pack that has team up cards for the initial Avengers that came out before Guardians. But team up basically means you have to have your identity has to be one of the 2 players to even have this in the deck. So you either have to be playing as a Colossus or a Wolverine to even put this in your deck. Then to play the card, both a Colossus and a Wolverine character have to be somewhere in the play area. So this could be I'm playing Wolverine, and my second player is playing Colossus. This could be me playing Wolverine with Colossus as my ally, or this could be me playing Wolverine with my second player has Colossus as an ally. As long as one of those conditions are met, so both there's a Colossus and a Wolverine out, you can use the team up. And what's fun is, because if someone else is playing Colossus, I could put this in my deck, they could put theirs in that, and then we would both be able to play this every time it comes up, no matter what. If you're relying on one of the 2 of us to have the other character as an ally, it could become a lot harder. But there's a thing, is I could also have Colossus as my ally, and then they could have Colossus and Wolverine as their ally, except they wouldn't be able to play Wolverine. So there's kind of a downside of it. Because if they have Colossus as a main, I can't play my Colossus in the same way. Now, you only have 1 copy here. There is a second one in the deck as well. They stick it in with the bonus cards you get. That you get at the end, like the extra stuff that's not part of your deck. Just because how you can stick the second one. They always give you 2 of these. So we have Hero Action, attack, deal X damage to an enemy, where X is a total attack of Colossus and Wolverine. This attack gains Overkill and Piercing. So this is fun, because lots of the other team-up cards are usually kind of sort of like, you get like a little bit of like something character A does and a little bit something character B does. This one's just like, these guys are both beefy attackers. Add them together and then do the damage. So if I was using just Wolverine, and I played this, is deal X damage to enemy, where X is a total attack of Colossus and Wolverine. Well, Wolverine's normal attack is 2, Colossus is 3, so this would do 5 damage for 1 cost. Now, if I played an upgrade or something that boosted Wolverine's attack up, or boosted Colossus as an ally, this could get even bigger. Plus Overkill and Piercing. Definitely great things to have. Yeah, so it's definitely fun. So yeah, if you own the Colossus set, if you did buy that one, you can add your second one in there if someone else wants to play as Colossus with you. Or you just have the one. Then the last 3 basic cards we have are the new Energy, Genius, and Strength resource cards with the new X-Men characters on them. I love this. I wish they would have done this for the Spider-Man and the Guardian sets as well. That would have been really cool to have, like, just different ones there. I know that people print off custom ones for every character, which is something I might do in the future as well. It's like Wolverine, if he's going to include, because you don't have one of each of these. So I have 3 different ones with Wolverine on, 3 different ones with Colossus, with Cyclops, just to kind of theme my deck out a bit more. But yeah, the fact they have X-Men ones now are really cool. Alright, so then the next part of Wolverine's deck is, of course, his obligation. Past Demons. Give to the Logan player, you may switch to alter ego form. Choose Exhaust Logan and remove past demons from the game, or you are stunned and confused, discard. So, again, like most of these, either flip your alter ego, exhaust your character so you lose your turn, because you can't do your recovery action, you can't play cards, or do anything there. Or you can just get stunned and confused for a turn, and then discard this. One thing that is fun about Wolverine here, though, is he had regenerative healing. Discard each stun and status card on your identity. So if you had this in your hand, you could always, if you couldn't afford it to lose a turn, you could always get stunned and confused, discard this, and then play that to just get rid of both of them. But then you might have to deal with this again. So that's how all the obligations work. Then we have our Nemesis. Now, I love that it's Omega Red. That's a really cool way to get him in here. Honestly surprised it's not Sabretooth, but I think mostly that's because you just had Sabretooth in the Mutant Genesis as a main villain. They didn't also want to make him a Nemesis in one of the sets this close. It's just my thought. But yeah, Omega Red is definitely a villain for Wolverine. He's someone that would only attack Wolverine, where Sabretooth has a tendency to just attack whoever he feels like it. So Steam 1, attack 2 with a health of 8, Brute and Elite, Retaliate 1, and Steady. Force Interrupt, when Omega Red attacks, you deal 1 damage to each character you control. So yeah, he attacks, he's going to hit everybody. So this is definitely Wolverine's going to want to jump in and start hitting on him as fast as he can. He's not going to have to worry about that retaliate as much because he heals every turn. His side scheme, the Carbonium Synthesizer. Omega Red needs a Carbonium Synthesizer to prevent his death factor from killing him. When Carbonium Synthesizer is in play, Omega Red cannot be defeated. And it's 5 on there, so yeah, get rid of that. You can still weaken him, you just can't defeat him, so at least he can still take damage. And he has 2 copies of his Death Factor, which is an attachment attached to your identity. Forced Response, after your turn ends, take 1 damage. And Alter Ego Interrupt, when you make a basic recovery, discard this instead of healing damage. So it's an interesting one. It attaches to your character, and it basically, if you stay in hero form, you're going to keep taking extra damage, but you can, run off and rest and make it go away. And then he has Tentacle Strike for his Treachery. When revealed, you are stunned. Take 1 damage, 4 damage instead if you are already stunned. And then Boost, you are stunned, take 1 damage, 4 if you're already stunned. So hopefully you're not fighting too many things that stun you, otherwise this could really take you down. And again, this is that thing with like Wolverine. Using his claws to maybe pay for his attacks or taking extra damage from some of his aggression cards, which is fine because you figure he can heal. Flawlessing, if this came out and you got stunned and hit, you might have been like, I can take 2 more hits, that's not a problem, I'm not worried about it. And then this hits and you take 4 instead. So something you just gotta kind of watch out for. There's the card list in case you were curious what was all in here or in his deck. Alright, then the last one we'll look at are the bonus cards. So they've definitely been doing the fun thing in this set where the original cards came with 3 copies of the other 3 aspects. So we had aggression, we had protection, justice, and leadership, and then some basic cards. This one instead is going for the route where we're going to get a extra encounter set And then we're going to get some extra bonus cards. We have 3 copies of a Justice, which is a new location, which, hey, more locations are fun for the X-Men characters. Command Center. Location max 1 per player. Response: after an ally thwarts and defeats a side scheme, exhaust Command Center, deal 2 damage to an enemy. So now this is kind of interesting to be on in a Wolverine set. Because after an ally thwarts and defeats a side scheme, you can deal 2 damage. I guess it would make sense in the way of Wolverine can be working on attacking, while he can send one of his allies in to be doing, like, well, he's distracting the enemies by attacking and taking damage and doing that. He can send his Justice allies in to work on thwarting other schemes and doing the other stuff on the side, which kind of makes sense in that regard. In our basic, we're going to get 1 copy of Longshot. Just you can add Longshot into any deck as a basic ally. Whenever it's an ally card, you only get 1 copy. So we have 4 cost, 2 thwart, 2 attack, and 3 health. X-Men, play only if your identity has the X-Men trait. Response: after Longshot attacks a non-elite minion, discard the top card of the encounter deck. If that card has a star icon in the booster area, defeat the attacked minion. Nice. So he gets the luck if they have that. He gets to do extra attack. That's his ability. It's based on luck. This is a weird image to use of him because the background is from the Exiles. So it's kind of interesting. So then we get our other basic card, which is our second fastball special. And then we have our encounter set, which we saw a little bit before, Deathstrike, who also could have been Wolverine's nemesis very easily. 1 steam, 2 attack, elite, and a Reaver. So I love the fact that it has Reaver in there because that means we can get more of the Reavers at some point. And we get to add her in and make them combine. I believe the Reavers are an encounter set in the Road set coming up, so that's actually fun. Quick Strike, force response after Lady Deathstrike attacks and damages a character. The character's owner discards 1 random card from their hand. This time it will carve your heart from your chest. Her side scheme is Seeking Vengeance. When revealed, if Lady Deathstrike is in play, she activates against you. Otherwise, search the encounter deck and discard file for Lady Deathstrike. Put her in play, engaged with you. So she's coming for you. We have 2 copies of the Adamantium Upgrades attachment. Attached to an enemy without a copy of Adamantium Upgrades attached. Otherwise, this gains Surge. Attached enemies attack gains Piercing. Hero action, spend 1 of each resource to discard this card, and it gives them 2 attack. So that's really fun, basically. It's, villain's going to basically get the same thing as Wolverine's Claws, almost. Extra attack and piercing. And then we have 2 copies of Treachery, Hack and Slash. When revealed, discard 1 random card from your hand and take damage equal to the number of printed resources on it. Then boost, discard 1 random card from your hand and take damage equal to the number printed of resources on it. Yeah, so printed resources are usually like 1. Some of them have 2, so it's not going to be too bad. But discarding random cards from your hand always sucks. Any game ever tells me discard a card from my hand, alright, fine. I can decide what I can afford to get rid of. But it's discard a random card, oh, it sucks because you might get rid of something you were ready to do your next turn. But that's what makes bad guys, right? Alright, so that was Wolverine. So if you're looking for a very aggressive, attack-focused deck, there you go. Maybe as opposed to like some of the other ones where Shadowcat has to play around with her phasing, forms back and forth, and Cyclops is all about attaching things. Wolverine's just, hey, I want to sit here and do damage. So it'd be fun to throw them in. It'd be fun to team them up with like Hulk to see how much damage you could do. One's doing massive attacks, where Wolverine's doing small attacks. Yeah, team him up with some of the other characters. Maybe see what he does in a non-aggression deck. It might be interesting too. But there we go. See you guys in the next video. Check out the rest of the Marvel Champions hero packs. See ya. Bye.